And there's a very important story that's mentioned in the Quran, and we all read Quran on a daily basis. And a lot of people today find the convenience of a translation, and they may read the translation. Now, there's a story in the Quran about Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. He looks at the sun, and he looks at the stars, and he looks at the moon and the sun, and he says, "Hada Rabbi," and literally, "Hada Rabbi" means, "This is my Lord." But Prophet Ibrahim was not affirming the godhood of the star, the sun, or the moon. But rather, Prophet Ibrahim, it's called in Arabic a negative. It's called in English istifhamun inkari, and in English it's called a negative interrogative. So you're saying something, but you mean the opposite. Somebody came and they told me, "Sultan, you stole my car." I tell them, "I stole your car." I don't mean I did. I mean I didn't. And Prophet Ibrahim looked at the sun and the moon and the stars, and he said, "Hada Rabbi," meaning "Hada laysa Rabbi. Hada la yasluhu an yakuna ilahan." This is what Prophet Ibrahim meant. And we have to be careful, because in the books, in the markets, in coloring books, they are, in some schools that they call themselves Islamic, they are teaching your children, not mine because they're not of age yet. They're teaching children that Prophet Ibrahim had shak, he had doubt. He used to worship the sun, the moon, and then after the stars, and then after he looked at a bigger light and he saw the moon and he said, "Oh, let me worship the moon." And then after he looked at the sun and he said, "Whoa, this is so big, I'm going to worship the sun." And then they said he woke up and he said, "La wajjahtu wajhiya," and he started to worship God, Allah Ta'ala. This is, you could say that about a normal person, about a normal, average person. He could be, in his life, he could be in a state of shak. But the prophets and Anbiya are the best of the people, and they're the most elite. They have the highest darajat, the highest rank, the highest sharaf, and since their childhood they never had shirk. They never worshipped anyone except Allah. This is very important to understand, because we look like, if we think about the attack, about the assault on Islam today, we just think about a huge military, but we don't think that they are injecting poison in our books. They put poison in some of the books, and they make it look nice, and they put it in the so-called Islamic markets, and you go buy it and you say, "MashaAllah, the story about Prophet Ibrahim." They say Prophet Ibrahim is to worship the creation. This is an insult. In Islam, we do not insult the prophets. The prophets are the best creation. Allah Ta'ala mentions them by saying, وَكُلًّا فَضَّلْنَا عَلَى الْعَالَمِينَ. They're the best of the creation. So we cannot insult them. We cannot insult not just Muhammad, Jesus and Moses and Abraham and Adam. All the prophets are the best of the people in our hearts. And insulting them is kufr, it's disbelief. I'm not a Muslim if I just look at you and say, "Ha ha ha, I'm a Muslim." If I'm a Muslim, I have to believe what the Quran teaches, what Islam teaches. And you have to be careful of this, because the greatest tragedy today for Muslims, it's not military weakness. Some people think, "Oh, we're not strong." It's not disunity. There's a lot of unity between Muslims. You may travel, there's a lot of similarity and unity. Apparent unity. But the biggest bala, the biggest musibah, is the lack of scholarship, of scholars. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, if a whole qabila dies, a whole tribe, and he said, one alim dies, he said, my heart is more sad for the scholar. We have in English, we have a saying in our language, they said, من ليس له كبير ليس له تدبير. If you don't have a high authority, you don't have the proper management. And if the scholars are not around, what happens? People, they go by the books that are published by X, Y, and Z, and they read. Or they open their satellite and they see which shaykh is on the satellite today. Is his beard long? Yes, his beard is long. He's a big shaykh. Does his voice sound like Imam? A big Imam? Yes, he must be a shaykh. and then that shaykh hits you with some words that are totally against the religion. I have to warn you against this. I can sit here and smile and say it's a beautiful day in Arizona, and it is. A bit cold, but it's a beautiful day. But there are assaults, there are people trying to misguide Islam from within and from without. But the biggest harm is when it's from within. When a part of your body hurts, your inner body, it's not, when there's a bomb inside of your home, it's not like a bomb that is outside of your home, for example. It does much more harm to you. And many of our children are growing up, and they're being taught that the prophets, they're people like your next door neighbor. They're people that are just nice guys, like, you know, they're just average people. No, Islam teaches that the prophets are the top of the creation, even greater than angels. And all the prophets said, La ilaha illallah. Say that God is one. Do not give God physical attributes. Do not say He has a hand or leg or fingers or face or eyes. No. Allah is not equal or not similar to the creation. مهما تصورت بذلك فالله بخلاف ذلك.